I think that's the bad thing is there's so much misinformation out there. Nobody trusts anything, so everybody's panicking. Well, the sheep are panicking, right? The ones that are always going to panic are going to panic, and nothing you can do.
Yep.
So, but anyway.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, man.
Leadhead Brigade, we are back with another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. Appreciate you leadheads and leadhead ladies tuning in. If you didn't get a chance, make sure you go back to our previous episode where we had former FBI agent, special agent. There's a difference between an FBI agent and a special agent, I guess, apparently. We had Dr. Jack Schaefer on with us, and he's got a new book out. It's called The Truth Detector, and it was a great interview talking with Dr. Schaefer. He gives some tips and tricks on how to tell when people are lying to you through their facial expressions and tics and body motions, and some other little things that you can pick up on. But his information, his skills that he has, he's got several books out, and they can translate to everyday life, whether it's on your job, whether it's at the gym, whether it's at the bar, you're trying to pick up a chick, whatever.
See if she likes you or not.
Right? Or whether she digs you or not. I mean, it's great for all ages, too. If you're a third grader, and you check this box, do you like me, yes or no? But, really great interview. He's a great guy, and you don't want to miss that. So go back, make sure you listen to that. And then we've got another great show lined up for you leadheads this episode. It's been a while since we've had them on. We missed them at SHOT Show, and we're going to get caught up with our buddies over at Glock. And joining me today is Mr. O.G. Richard himself, Corey Jones.
How's it going, leadheads?
So we missed each other at SHOT Show, man.
Yeah, man. Sorry I couldn't get over there. You know how that show can be.
Yeah.
You schedule stuff, and next thing you know, you're scheduled somewhere else before you know it. So I apologize for that, but I'm glad to be back with you. It'd be good to get caught up.
Well, you missed out because I had a gift for you.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I have it now.
You gave it to somebody else?
I ended up giving it to somebody else. But we had some limited edition buck knives made where it had our logo on there. It said Leadhead Brigade, and then on the other side, Mission First Tactical did. David Edelman, had made those for us. So we had their logo on a buck knife with our logo. So it was pretty cool.
Very nice, man. I hate that I missed that.
Well, I want to rub it in a little bit, so maybe next time you'll make an effort, a better effort.
I made an effort. I just got overruled. Everybody has somebody to answer to. Well, most of us, I guess.
Well, I know you guys had Chuck Norris in the booth.
Yeah, I didn't want to get my ass kicked by not sitting down with Chuck Norris.
He could have karate chopped you from the Glock booth all the way over to the Buck Knives booth.
I believe so. I believe you're correct.
So is he still your brand ambassador? He's still doing stuff with Chuck?
As far as I know, we got him scheduled for next year. If there is a SHOT Show, as far as I know, he'll be there again. So we're looking forward to that. If we're actually going to be able to attend, everybody, not just us, but having SHOT Show period.
Yeah.
Kind of up in the air. So.
Well, I'm getting conflicting stories. Of course, NSSF is just balls to the wall saying it's going to happen. They're doing it. It's on like Donkey Kong. But then you look at the state of Nevada and their rules that they're putting in place for conventions and things. They're limiting it to 1,000 people. So,
right.
I mean, 1,000 people doesn't cover one room, I guess, of this.
Yeah, I was talking to our events guy Tavares about the same thing this morning, and even if we're cutting our booth in half because you can't go up, you can only go on one level. But even if everybody cut their booths in half, you're looking at cutting back 3/4 of the vendors.
Yeah.
If you have 1,000, so.
Well, you got to look at the international people too. I doubt they're going to be traveling for the show.
Absolutely, and I don't know what the state requirements are. There's a lot of states. If you pass through a state or come from a state, you got to quarantine for 14 days. So
yeah,
I doubt anybody's going to get there a week early to go to the show.
I don't think
Vegas and go home.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing the 14-day thing there in Nevada. I mean, with the casinos and stuff, because it's my understanding those are still open and functioning to some capacity. I don't know what capacity. So any of you lead heads that have been to Vegas lately, get in touch with me. Let me know what the temperature is there. I'd like to know that.
The Fiocchi family has been producing high-quality ammunition since 1876. In 2020, Fiocchi's launching a full line of premium products, everything from self and home defense to the long-range categories. The Fiocchi Blue Guardian line will feature specially tuned products specifically for home and self-defense, featuring lead-free technology and the only NATO-certified zero-pollution primer in the world. Fiocchi's a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade. Fiocchi trains, Fiocchi protects.
But I'm planning on it. We're still planning on being at Buck Knives again. So,
all right. Maybe I can pick up my gift when I see you at SHOT Show this year.
Yeah. I may still have one or two laying around.
You might know a guy, I bet.
Well, I'm coming to Georgia next couple of weeks. Was it the 13th?
Okay.
Yeah, November the 13th is that Big Daddy Unlimited range day. Are you guys going to be at that?
I won't be. I'm actually out of town that week, but I'm not sure if we're going or not. I haven't heard anything from marketing, but that doesn't mean if it's a range day, they may have some of the shooting guys there.
Yeah.
Some shooting team there or something, but I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay, it's in Fleming, Georgia.
Okay.
Down in Fleming. Big Daddy Unlimited is called the Epic Shoot. I'll shoot you a link on it.
Yeah, do that.
If
I'll
you guys
find out if we're going to be there or not. If we are, I'll make sure the folks here get with you, or y'all try to link up somehow.
Yeah.
Or somebody.
So that being said, make sure you guys go and support those that support this show, because without it, you wouldn't be able to listen to it each and every week for free. Keltec Weapons, check them out. We had Keltec Chad on a couple of episodes ago, and we talked about their new integrally suppressed sub 2000 9mm carbine, which it's a bad boy. You guys definitely want to check it out. I've made several posts on that. They've got more videos, and hopefully we'll get one in hand, and we'll be doing some more videos with those as well here in the near future. But it's really cool. It's like I said, it's integrally suppressed 9mm. There's only one tax stamp. You don't have to do the SBR. You just got to worry about the NFA for the silencer, the suppressor. $200.
Uncle Sam's $200.
I'm telling you, man, the NFA has been in the news lately too. They made our jackwagon train for that Q ruling on the honey badger.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the pistol brace on that?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, so they sent Q a letter and said cease and desist manufacturing of your honey badger, which it's an AR pistol that's got a proprietary. What's that company that makes the braces? SB Tactical.
Okay.
SB Tactical. And then they have since, like 2 weeks after that, there was like a 60-day stay on that order. So for 60 days, the cease and desist is not in effect, so they're legal again.
Sell as many as you can in 60 days.
Right? Yeah. So get them sold. But we talked about that. We're trying to get the gentleman from SB Braces on. We're still in contact with him. He's covered up with, obviously you can imagine with the legal stuff going on. So
absolutely,
we will get him on hopefully sooner than later. But something we'll keep you abreast of as information comes in. Mission First Tactical. Go show David some love over there at Mission First Tactical with all the cool furniture that they've got for your AR-15s, the magazines that they're making. And, of course, you can get your talking lead dump trays and tactical wallets at Mission First Tactical now. Mission First Tactical.
You got all kinds of good stuff, don't you?
Oh, man, I'm telling you. We have swagged out.
So diversified.
Diversifying, man. We've got, we got our talking leadies, the mugs, our drinking mugs here.
Sweet.
You can get those at dip123.com. And then, of course, our new AK Corner leadies that we're doing, and T-shirts, hoodies, and women's apparel at factory47.com. And that's factory with a K, factory47.com. We just released those last month. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and women's apparel now. So you can get the nice lady cut T-shirts.
That's right.
And use that code LEADHEAD to get that discount. Use the code LEADHEAD at Mission First Tactical. Also, you're going to get 20% off. And then Modern Spartan Systems. You go there, use the code TLCP15. You're going to get 15% off for all your gun cleaning needs and that TVT engine oil additive. And they've got some new products that we're going to have Marcus on here soon to talk about that they're cranking out. They got some stuff for knives now. And they've got something for your body, believe it or not. They've got like a TVT engine oil additive for your body. So,
an oil additive for your body.
It's a supplement of some sort. He won't tell me exactly what it is. So he's intrigued me. He's saying that it. I don't know if I should say it or not. I might edit this out. He's saying that it will cure. So,
oh wow. Okay. Yeah, you probably want to edit that out.
Yeah.
And have the FBI and everybody else beating down your door.
Yeah, I'll probably edit that out. I'll bleep it. That way people will go, oh.
Right?
I'll bleep it. That'll be a good one to bleep. So go show them some love so that they can we can bring this to you each and every week and have awesome guests like Corey that we're gonna be talking about all the latest and greatest going on with Glock, some recognition that they've recently received. And Corey is going to bust some myths on our Talking Lead Facts to Fight the Myths segment, too.
I'm going to do my best to do that, absolutely.
Hells yeah. But before we do that, you know what I hear, Corey?
What's that?
I hear that Talking Lead jackwagon train rolling in. Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
And we miss the Gunny so much.
Absolutely. He was a great ambassador for us, and he's surely missed for sure by everybody, not just here at Glock, but I'd say the industry whole.
Oh yeah, and not just the gun industry, but the movie industry, the entertainment industry. He was an icon, man.
Absolutely.
And we continue his legacy with the jackwagon train. So let's take care of some jackwagons in honor of the Gunny. So I'll start with you. Do you have anybody that you want to call out? And
no, I think since my first show back, I think I'm going to ease right back into the whole redhead scene.
I don't blame you. So we were talking a little bit earlier off mic. These hearings, these Senate hearings for Facebook, Twitter, on their purported biased and blocking of information and news sources and things like that. Being accused of, I guess, being in violation of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act.
Yep.
And basically what that is, it's a piece of internet legislation that the United States passed into law as part of Communications Decency Act of 1996. Basically what it does at its core, Section 230 provides immunity from liability for providers and users of an interactive computer service who publish information provided by third-party users. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider.
Which means they shouldn't be editing it, correct?
Well, which means that if I post something and that's negative, derogatory, or even illegal, then they're not held liable for that if I do it on their platform.
Right, but they're also not supposed to edit it or anything else. You're supposed to just be able to post it there, and they're not held liable for what you post.
Right, but again, they have their own rules and regulations, and if you don't abide by their rules and regulations, which, again, I don't have any problem with this because they're a private company, and if you want to use their service, then you abide by their guidelines.
Right.
But, it's been taken by some that these companies should be viewed as public utilities now instead.
Right.
Which they're not. They're privately...
Well, I think the big argument there, too, is I have no problem with a private company having their own policy to make sure their website is clean, it's not pornographic or, eliciting information to kids and minors and stuff like that. I think that's all fine and good. I think where the rub comes, at least for me personally, is that their policies are being interpreted by them a certain way, and then that's being pushed on to us. It's not like you're showing somebody blowing up somebody's house, right?
Yeah.
That obviously should be stopped. But from what I gather in my listening to some of this stuff today in snippets of the hearing, is they're basically saying everything that Trump says or Republican or conservative says is misinformation because it's not true. And then they're stopping it, but yet you've got, like they mentioned, Iran and all these other places doing all this stuff, but they're not stopping that. So I think that's where to me, it was where I don't agree with some of the interpretation of it and put a halt to it. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't have a problem. Private company has their own policy that says you can't post this information. But I think you got to go with, I guess, similar like Constitution, right? It says what it says. It means what it means. You can't take that and say there's 5 meetings for this, not allowed to or whatever, and now put it how you want to whatever stuff you're posting. I think that's where the biggest rub comes in. And I think they showed today about 60 different examples of stuff that Democrats or all these different people have posted that's the same thing. It's not true, but they're not stopping it.
It's just the opposite point of view.
Right. Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
And again, I still have no problem with that. If Facebook wants to do that, if Instagram wants to do, Twitter wants to do that, then I have no problem with that because it's their own company, and if that's how they want to run their company, and that's the information that they're wanting to disseminate, then that's fine. We need to, as a conservative group, and there's people that have the money and could do this, is start their own service.
Make their own Facebook, right?
Make your own Facebook. Make your own, whatever. But what I don't agree with is them changing the rules in the middle of it. So what they've done is they've got people hooked on this, and a lot of people's livelihoods have been based on things that they could have, they could do in the past, but they can't do now. Take our industry, for instance. We've been hit probably hardest than anybody in the choke down that we get from our posts going out, who can see it, whether we can monetize it or not, or whether they'll let us pay for it. They won't even let us pay to boost our stuff now. They won't accept our money to do that. So, I mean, they've got double standards there, and but as long as I know that that's who they are and what they're doing, then I know that that's not the place for me to disseminate the information that I'm trying to get out there and disseminate. All the more reason for a very entrepreneurial conservative, we'll say conservative, to start their own platform.
A patriot.
A patriot. There you go. All the more reason for a patriot to start their own thing. Kind of like Full 30 has done in answer to YouTube's, cutting down and stifling the firearms industry and things that they will allow you to post on YouTube. Full 30 has done that. Started their own kind of YouTube-ish for the gun community, for the 2A, 1A community. So,
well, it's interesting too. You talk about that with YouTube. How many YouTube sensations have been locked up here for not too long for rioting and looting and all those things? And it'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the reason I bring this up is, so you look at this Section 230, and the liberals have no problem with this, and they're fine with it. Obviously, they love what Facebook and all these people are doing, and they're not going to hold them responsible for an Antifa person who makes posts on there and says, "Hey, we're going to gather at this time at this place, and we're going to riot and we're going to do this, so everybody come." Facebook, Twitter, whoever isn't responsible for what happens through those actions.
Right.
Unlike the firearms industry, which there is a law in place. It's called the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, the PLCAA. And what that does is it protects firearms manufacturers and dealers from being held liable when crimes have been committed with their products. Okay? But what we're seeing is the liberals are trying to basically get rid of that, demolish that. And you look at these mass murders that have occurred, and who are the people they're going after in these lawsuits? They're going after the firearms manufacturers, and they're holding them, trying to make them be responsible for these mass murderers. So how is that any different than what Facebook and YouTube and all these social media that do and post these violent things and encourage people to be violent and murder police officers and fellow citizens? It's no different.
The only difference is the side it's coming from. That's the only difference.
That's the only difference. Exactly. So something to think about, guys. You want more information on that, you can look them up. But I just wanted to throw that out there, just a little food for thought. Just the hypocrisy that you see, from the liberal side of things. When it's not going their way, boo-hoo, cry, cry, whine, whine, which, it happens on our side too. But
sure.
We're not out killing police officers.
Yeah, we're not out screaming at the sky either.
Right. So that's my jackwagon. I don't really have any other ones at this point. I think we're going to have a bevy of stuff coming up with the election. So it's just kind of, it's boiling to a head.
Yep, absolutely. The election's going to be a doozy, that's for sure. You were talking earlier off mic, like you said, about the polls and stuff, and you just can't believe them anymore. Not that you ever could, really, but
yeah, I don't believe anything from either side, really.
True.
So that's why I try to.
Well, that's what really sucks now too, is you can't really find. There's a couple of good actual news outlets that if you want to go try to find out what's going on, you can watch some stuff. But usually, any TV you turn on, whether it's one of the mainstream media guys, the big boys, the Foxes, the CNNs, and all that, they all have their shows. CNN, of course, and those guys are all just left. There is no middle ground. It's all left.
They didn't even carry the confirmation hearings for Amy Coney Barrett.
Of course not.
The swearing in, they didn't even carry it on their network.
There's all kinds of stuff they don't carry. Biden's taking money supposedly from in the billions from China and all this other stuff. No coverage.
Nope, none whatsoever. And I guess that's going to be my jackwagon. That's going to make the jackwagon train also. Because you've got a very strong, independent female. I mean, just because she doesn't share all the beliefs that these liberals have, but you look at everything that they're promoting. They want women in power. They want minorities in power. They want this, that. A black man, Justice Thomas, was the one who administered her oath to her. So a black man administered the oath to a female, and the liberals aren't happy as the new justice. Our 115th justice, by the way, and I think our first conservative you mentioned, Corey, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing, I don't know if you watched any of those hearings. I
did
watched them all, and I mean it was amazing to see how. I won't say how dumb some of these senators are, but obviously how dumb they are in comparison to her sitting there. And like they had the big moment for her when they said, where are your notes? What notes do you have? And she held up that blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have it. Why do I need notes?
Yeah. He's I want to see, hold up those notes that you're getting these concise and answers that you're giving us. And she held it up and it said U.S. Senate on it.
Yeah,
that's all it said.
Blank, nothing on it but the letterhead.
Yeah, that was it. That was hilarious. I think she should run for president. I'm just saying.
I mean, overall, watching those hearings, it's like she's just one of those.
She was a cool.
She probably has her own side. Obviously, she's obviously picked by Republican, conservative, all that side. But for everything I heard, it's like whatever's put in front of her is what she's gonna. Make a decision on. But anything outside of that, they keep bringing up abortion and all these, the health care and all this other stuff. And
firearms.
Firearms is easy and as plain as she could say, as I've already told you that. I can't answer that because if that comes before me, then I have to litigate on it. But I'm not going to give you an opinion today, and she may not have to. They all think she's just going to walk in and say, okay, we're going to talk about abortion, guns, and healthcare all right now, and I'm going to rule them all in favor of conservatives, and that's just not going to happen.
Exactly, but they also wanted to get her personal opinions, too, and she's like, that's not relative because my personal opinions aren't the law,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but that doesn't coincide with Sotomayor and Ginsburg and what's the other lady on the court? I can't even think of her name right now.
I don't know.
Kagan. Kagan's their name, and they all have a personal opinion.
Yeah.
And they take their personal opinion and try to morph the law into whatever meets their narrative, which is just crazy. It's sad.
Which that's not their job, and she made that perfectly clear. It's the Senate's job to do that.
It was almost like she was at home again. You know, she's got like 12 kids. You know, whenever she adopted two or three.
Right.
It's like she said, it's like you tell your kid no, and they won't take no for an answer. So you tell them 15 ways a Sunday, the answer is no. At the end of the day, the answer is still no.
Well, let me say this a different way. Nada, no, negative, not gonna happen. But she's my hero. So we're putting Amy Coney Barrett on the Leadhead Brigade, Lead Force 1 as our hero.
Good deal.
Keith likes everything about the great outdoors. He's a lot like us. Whether we're bow hunting in the backcountry or plinking in the backyard, we want to enjoy each experience to the fullest. Kel-Tec's 22 caliber P17 is Heath's go-to pistol for a good time, on the range, on the trail, and anywhere in between. Weighing in at only 14 ounces with a full magazine, its compact size makes it easy to conceal or tuck away in a small pack, pocket, or space. It comes out of the box ready with a fiber optic front sight, a threaded barrel, a Picatinny rail, and a price point for any budget. With 3 16-round magazines, it's ready for hours of pure unadulterated enjoyment. It's easy, it's affordable, it's accurate, and it's a damn sweet marvel of plinking innovation. The Kel-Tec P17. It's more bang for less buck.
So I've got another hero that I want to nominate, somebody who's done something good in especially our community, the firearms community, and they were recognized for it, and that's Glock.
Hey, man, thank you.
So,
a lot of applause, right? Applause?
Yeah. So tell us about this award that you guys recently received.
Well, for as a lot of your listeners may know, and I know you know, at NASGW every year, the wholesaler show, they give out a bunch of different awards. We actually won the Firearms Manufacturer of the Year award. We had won it a few years back. It was actually voted on by all of our distributors, our wholesalers. They all vote on it. Multitude of different things, whether it be new product, whether it be basically the biggest things are two-step distribution, product, service, relationships, that kind of stuff. So we're very honored to win it. We always strive to win that award, probably bar none, every year as a firearms manufacturer.
Yeah.
And we won it this year. Basically, we're a firm believer in two-step distribution. So hopefully most of your listeners know what that is. Basically, we don't sell direct to dealers. We sell directly through distribution. I believe ourselves and one other manufacturer, the only two that do that. Mm-hmm. Out of all the manufacturers. A lot of them go back and forth from time to time, but we've stayed steadfast as far as making sure our distributors are the ones who are delivering our products to the retailers. And so we're very proud of that and appreciate all the support we get from the listeners you have to our retailers, distributors, everybody out there. So we're very proud of that.
Congratulations, well deserved. And we're going to talk about some of the things product-wise that probably helped you guys get that, or will help you get the next one next year.
Yeah.
So when was this convention?
Well, it was supposed to have happened this month, a couple weeks ago, I believe, in Fort Worth, maybe, or it was in Texas. I'm not exactly sure where it was supposed to be in Texas, but obviously we couldn't go. So they did a virtual ceremony. Okay. But it was
that was my question, was whether they actually had a physical.
No, we were supposed to, but as you know, with COVID, nobody can travel, so we did a virtual ceremony this year.
Well, I thought airlines are still in operation.
They are.
Educate me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think with us as a company, I'm sure I know a lot of distributors too. A lot of distributors I've talked to that I deal with on a daily basis, they've got their own rules and regulations in place where they're not letting people travel. Yeah, in-house stuff. And, at the end of the day, it is safer. I would agree with that. I don't agree with all the craziness that's going on per se.
Well, I mean, just in general, not being around other people with germs is safer, but but is it? Because then you don't build up your immune system. So
this is true. This is true. Knock on wood. I haven't had the flu in many years.
You knock on your head there. But you're an international company. Glock's an international company. You guys, have a lot of people from Germany and, other places coming. You guys go in there, and I'm sure that's been stymied. You guys have gone to virtual meetings for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, our first visit in a while since COVID, actually since COVID's happened, is with our Austrian counterparts. Will be, I think, in the next couple of weeks. They're coming over here for the first time in a while, so it's
now
starting to move again.
At any point, were you guys just shut down, completely shut down, or have you been manufacturing through the whole process?
No, and that's one big thing I wanted to get the chance to talk to you and catch up and kind of, like you said, just get rid of some of the myths out there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we haven't shut down at all.
Okay.
We've been going full tilt the whole time.
Good deal. And that wasn't our myth, so it's still to come, Leadheads. It's still coming. It's still coming. So, yeah, you guys for getting that award, Amy Coney Barrett for being our 115th Justice of the Supreme Court. Welcome to the Talking Leadhead Brigade, Lead Force One.
I'd like to add to your hero brigade there if I could, but it's not just one person.
Let's do it.
I mean, I'd like to, consider all the blue line folks and first responders out there that have been doing, front lines, not just the riots and all the craziness, but every day in and day out. Any of your listeners out there, if you see one, thank them. If you see them, buy their lunch, do something to make sure they know that, we're still in support of them.
Absolutely.
I know you got lead heads all over the country, and I mean, you got these places,
Got them all over the world, son.
I know, right? But I mean, all these different places were craziness. I mean, right now Pennsylvania's one.
Oh
Philly.
My gosh!
I mean, all these guys.
30? Was it 30 police officers that were injured?
I think so.
I haven't heard the latest. That was the first day of the riots.
And there was, I can't remember if it was Philly or I think it was Philly where the guy got run over. Some of the protesters hit one of the cops.
Yeah, broke his leg.
So it's out there, man. So I mean, I know that's a big list of heroes, but not just to put out one, but that's one big one. I think we all need to take a step back and really show some appreciation whenever we get a chance to. So,
but remember, you can't hold Facebook or Twitter or Instagram responsible for letting those people post these violent intentions on there, and meetings and whatnot.
Right.
You can't do that. So. That's a good hero. That's a good hero. They definitely need to be honored and recognized. And of course, we have LE listeners, so thank you, Leadheads, LE Leadheads that are out there. Appreciate it. So let's move on. We want to talk Glock. You guys have several things going on amongst all this chaos and turmoil. You guys are business as usual, and you've got, probably since the last time we talked, at least a handful of new firearms and products and programs that you've got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. We obviously had the 44 that came out most recently, or the 22 caliber and the G44 that came out.
Yeah.
That came out at shot a little before, or a little after shot rather, and then we got the 43x and 48 MOS with a light rail on it. That's come out here recently. And then you've also got the Gen 5 40 caliber family that's come out as well. We start taking orders and delivering those in October. We've got a handful of stuff that's come out that's going to be good for us going into next year.
Let's talk about the Glock 44, the 22, because we were scheduled to talk about it at SHOT Show, and we obviously didn't get an opportunity to do that. So talk about that. I mean, just overall everything about it.
Overall, it's a great pistol, especially for your first timers or young kids that might be coming up into shooting at the range, stuff like that. It's built on a G19 platform.
Okay.
So our most popular handgun for years has been the G19 platform, that mid-size frame. It actually has a polymer slide which runs on a steel frame. So you get it. It really doesn't look polymer. Honestly, when you pick it up, it feels it's very, very extremely light. Obviously, it's made of all polymer, except for that slide rail that it runs on. But it's a great little pistol, man. It's great. Shoots great. Takes pretty much all types of ammo. It likes the faster stuff. Obviously,
the hot rounds. Yeah.
The hot rounds better, but it does run on pretty much everything. And that's been an extremely well received pistol since it's been brought out.
Yeah. Of course, people are going to want to know what the magazine capacity is on that.
Magazine capacity is going to be 10 rounds. We have been working on a larger capacity magazine. Still in the works. That hasn't come out yet.
Oh, I'm sure, our innovative industry, there's going to be a aftermarket, somebody to come out with an aftermarket magazine for
that. Absolutely. We'd love to beat them to it, but I'm sure there'll be some out there before we're able to, but that's okay. It gives somebody else something else to make some money on for a little bit, I guess.
They're probably already out there.
The 44 has been great. It comes with an adjustable sight. A great shooting pistol. Like I said, great for those first timers that might be just getting into firearms.
Now, are the sights your standard Glock sights, or are they specific for this model?
They're the standard polymer or adjustable rear sight.
Okay. So any of the aftermarket sights should work on the 22 that work on the 19s, or?
It should. A lot of people have tested, have run they put night sights on them and stuff. We haven't really messed with that because of the metal on it. Metal and plastic doesn't tend to work very well together over time. But yeah, any of the sights should work on that pistol.
Now the slide itself isn't polymer, right? Or is it?
No, the top end. So if you can imagine, you imagine the top end of it, just what a slide looks like. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. On the bottom of it that rides on the the frame rails, is actually made of steel, the same steel that the slides are made out of.
Okay.
And the polymer on the top is the same polymer that's made that the frame's made out of. So very, very rigid, very durable. But yeah, the top end of it is actually, say, 80%, if not more, polymer.
Oh wow! So that's different. That's completely different than your.
Very different.
Than your other.
If you're familiar, I know a lot of your listeners are going to be familiar with the 17Ts, how they have the polymer inserts that go on a 17T now, the blue guns.
Yeah. It's
similar to that, but a little bit different because it doesn't have that insert that kind of pop into those 17Ts. The top end is just made into and sits on top of that frame.
Very cool. Do you know the weight right off?
So your weight without a magazine would be 12.63 ounces.
Wow, that's just a little over a can of beer.
There you go.
Your 12-ounce curl. I mean, that'll feel natural to a lot of our listeners.
Yep. With a loaded magazine, you're looking at 16.4.
Okay, so that's a tall boy.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. So I haven't really seen a lot about this yet, but I assume that you're getting a lot of good response from this.
Yeah, we have. I mean, obviously, since when it first came out, and if you look at the picture there, if any of your lead heads look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you look at that picture there, you can see distinctively where the metal is on the bottom of that polymer slide.
Is there a exploded view of it somewhere? Where it's
if you go to our website to us.glock.com, and then go into pistols and select that 22 long rifle. You'll have the 44 pop up there, and you got a 3D view up there. So you got a Gen 5 frame with all the Gen 5 frame features, no finger grooves, same checkering.
Yeah.
You'll have that, but then you can see there where the steel.
Yeah. See that.
Steel bottom of that, and then the polymer top.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, when it first came out, we couldn't make enough. Since pandemic was February, March, somewhere around in there. So I would, the production side of that, just because of supply and demand, more folks are going after that self-defense 9s, 40s. So it kind of, slacked off there because of that reason.
Sure.
There's more people buying more self-defense guns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 22 can be a defensive round as well.
Absolutely.
But are you guys making this in Georgia?
Yes, that gun's made completely in Georgia. A lot of the small parts now, the internals, would come here. They do produce the barrels to a certain point over in Austria. And then when they come here, we finish the barrel and then assemble the whole gun.
So the weight, I guess the weight's coming in with that rail right there. And 22, I mean, there's not a lot of recoil or anything with the 22, but with it being so light and you don't have that metal slide like most of the 22 pistols have, accuracy, things like that, an issue or?
No, it's an extremely accurate pistol. We did the launch for it here in Georgia Had a bunch of guys come out and shoot it. Silencers for it. It's a fun shooting pistol, especially with a silencer on it.
So is it come with a threaded barrel standard?
No, it doesn't come with it standard, but we do have a threaded barrel that you can purchase for it.
Okay.
So we do have that option available, but it does not ship with a threaded barrel.
Now, I'm assuming that barrel isn't polymer.
No, the barrel is metal.
Metal,
Yeah.
and it's your Glock accuracy barrel, right?
Yep, it'd be like your GMB type barrel. Like I said, it's the same features as a Gen 5, just got that polymer slide on it. And a great functioning pistol, great shooting pistol. It's been, well received by everybody that shot it. So we've sold a lot of them and continue to sell a lot of them.
Very cool. Do you have any plans of doing like a conversion for a 9 to a 22, where people have a conversion kit?
We're just doing the slide, you mean? No, we talked about that before we came out with the pistol. What do we do? Do we do a full pistol or do we do a conversion kit? Mm-hmm. Decision was made just to do the whole pistol. Yep.
Okay, well, that's cool. Are you aware of any conversion kits on the market for a 22 for a Glock?
The ones I think it was Tactical Solutions had one, were the most common, and Advantage Arms was the other one that I knew of personally.
Okay.
I have an Advantage Arms kit at the house.
Yeah, I've never even researched that. I didn't know if that even existed or not.
Yeah, Tactical Solutions and Advantage Arms has had one out for many years, well before we came out with this one. So there's a couple out there on the market. There's probably more now.
Yeah.
But those are the ones I'm aware of.
Very nice. So with this, I mean, I can see all kinds of things. So you guys have the holsters and everything for it, the accessories? You starting to make those?
Well, the holster basically would fit like a 19.
Okay, so it'll fit same dimensions as a 19.
Right. It would fit pretty much same as a 19.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah. So it's not like a slim line like your new 43s or 43s, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not now inside the mag obviously is different because it's 22, only holding 10 rounds.
Yeah.
It does have the assisted mag inside of it. You pull down the tabs, load your mag up. But yeah, it is the same size as a 19.
Well, speaking of the 43, you said you came out with a 43X, which I'm assuming that's going to be like your 19X, where you've got extended grip for more rounds.
Correct. So with the 43X, you've got first we did that was the silver slide guns when they first came out, was the 48 and the 43X, and the idea behind that is, yes, similar to a 19X, but also like a 34 per se, that has the extended slide for a 48 slide. So a 48 slide would fit on the G48 or 43X frame. So you can have a shorter slide if you want, or you can have the longer slide if you want.
Oh, cool. And those are out? Those have been out for a minute?
Well, the 43X and 48 came out a while ago, and then the 43X and 48 MOS actually has a cutout, like all of our MOS pistols with the cover plates and stuff, for certain. Right now, I believe there's only 2 or 3 different, I call them mini red dots for the slimline stuff.
Yeah.
Shield, I think, and Crimson Trace has one too, I believe. They all have the smaller red dots you can use. And it also has a light rail. So the current slimline 43X, just the 43X, does not have a light rail. The 43X and 48 MOS has a rail on it and has the optic cut.
Gotcha. And for those who don't know the numbers for Glocks, the G48 is a 9mm. The 43 and 43X are 9mm. The 42 is your 380, and then you've got a G36 that you admit it's the 45.
Correct.
Sometimes I get those numbers mixed up in my head too, so I gotta sit there and kind of do the math. So
those 2 guns there, the newest ones, the MOS versions of the 43X and the 48, those were just released, a couple months ago. And those have all, done extremely well too. We just can't, obviously with anything, we just can't make enough.
Yeah. Do those have the option to come with a red dot, or are you just putting on an aftermarket red dot?
No, considering, trying to pick which one, we try to keep the SKUs as limited as much as possible. Those just come with the cut and the plates. just like our 17 or all other MOS models.
Okay.
They don't come with a red dot. You know, sometime in the future, is there a possibility that we'll run a package out of the factory with a optic on it, with a light or with a holster or whatever? Yeah, that's a possibility. But as it sits right now, those will come optic ready, but not with an optic.
Okay. And how many rounds are the X's extending you to?
The X's are going to have 10 rounds.
10 rounds?
And the same as a 43 or a 43X.
Okay. And these are the single stack for you people who aren't familiar with the Glocks. They've got the double stacks and they got the single stacks. The slim line, you're calling it.
The slim line.
Slim line. Slim Jim. I like that. And then, was there another one that we were going to talk about? Or is that it? As far as the guns?
The other ones we had were more of a continuation of the Gen 5 platform.
Okay.
So you had the 17, the 9mm family that came out first. Obviously, that was impacted because of FBI and all the transitions there.
Yeah.
You had that the 9mm came out first. Now we're doing the 40 calibers. Interesting on the 40 calibers though. You know, for years the 17 and the 22 were the same size slide.
Yeah.
Well, now with the Gen 5, they went to a thicker slide. So they use the same frame as a 17, same frame design, same controls and stuff, but the slide is a little bit thicker. That helps with with the 40 caliber, it's so snappy. It does help it keep it on a flatter plane when you're shooting it, get a little more mass to it. And we went to the 2-pin. You know, they had a 3-pin model for years. The Gen 5s now are 2-pin. So to keep that 2-pin design, they added a little bit of slide mass to it. So if you get the unfortunate side of that, I guess, is if you have a 17 and a 22 and you buy a 22 Gen 5, you're going to need a new holster to carry your 22. But, those have just started coming out. And, given that fact, there's a lot of agencies out there that are carrying 40s that just want to stay with 40s. So I want to say, I think over in Brazil, they were the first ones to take the Gen 5 40s overseas. So they've had them for a while. So they've been tested and proven just like any other Glock pistol. So that's the newest edition of the Gen 5s coming out. The 35 will actually come out in 2021. They're still working on the 35, making sure they get that one just right. A G35 would come out later in 2021.
Is that the bigger one, the larger?
Yeah, that's the long slides. You got 34 and 35, your long slide competition models.
Very good. So you'll have the full line for the 40s when that one comes out. You got the 27 already. You got the subcompact. I see that.
Yep.
Very nice.
And there'll be an MOS model in the 22 and the 23 as well, and the 35. So when the 35 comes out, in the Gen 5s, used to in a Gen 4 and a Gen 3, or just a Gen 4 rather, we had both models. We had a non-MOS and an MOS model in the 34. When we brought the Gen 5s out, we kind of changed that model to where on a 17 or a 22, you'll have both a non-MOS or an MOS. Mm-hmm. But on the long slide competition models, it's strictly MOS.
Gotcha. Very good.
And again, that's in trying to keep the SKUs down as much as we can. But it keeps growing and growing.
There's so many. So do you know right off how many different models you have?
A lot.
A lot. More than I can count on two hands.
A lot.
Yeah, there are a lot. I was going to test you on that, but of course you can go to the website and the Gen 3s, Gen 4s, Gen 5s. You're still making those, and then
now that on that as well, the Gen 4s actually. We went away, so rather than have 3 different generations, we had a Gen 3 and a Gen 4. Mm-hmm. All right, so when the Gen 5s came out, we no longer make the 9mm or the 40 caliber Gen 4s.
Okay, that's good to know.
We only wanted to have 2 generations. We want to have a Gen 3 and a Gen 5, and honestly, because we also changed the pricing in this whole transition. Gen 4s used to be more than a Gen 3. And with California, we had to make Gen 3s. We have to keep making guns for California. So we actually took out the Gen 4. We dropped the Gen 4 price down to the Gen 3 price. Mm-hmm. The Gen 5 came out at the old Gen 4 price, right? Now we have a Gen 3 and a Gen 5. The only way anybody's going to get a Gen 4, honestly, here in the last few months, They've been sweeping the floors, just trying to crank guns out the door. So we have had more 4s come in that were kind of left over from POs come in or what have you from overseas.
Yeah.
So we have had to, sell some after we discontinued them back in June and July. So you will find some out there in the marketplace. But overall, we have the 9 millimeters and the 40s. We have stopped making Gen 4s commercially. If a law enforcement agency needs them for all your LE lead heads out there, if your agency's still in a Gen 4, we're still going to warranty those guns. We're still going to service those guns. If those agencies still want to buy Gen 4s to issue to their officers, we're still going to make Gen 4s if we need to.
Yeah.
But the hope is, just like with Gen 4 and 3s, we hope to see the transition to the 5 over the whole, each market, commercial and
Right.
LE. And going forward, and we're going to bring out more. So you still got 45, you still got 10 millimeters. All those are still on the docket to come out at some point in the future to be in a Gen 5 platform. So once those Gen 5s are released, if a 21 Gen 5 is released, then the 21 Gen 4 will go away, and you'll have a 21 SF or a whatever's California compliant.
Right. So that answers the question I was going to ask is, why the Gen 3s, and it's because of California.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So those Gen 4s, if you can get them, they probably become collector's items, leadheads. So go out and get you a Gen 4.
Yeah, if you can find them right now, absolutely.
Sure, you're
Buy-
probably
I'm not partial to any of them. I want you to buy any one.
buy them all. Yeah, whatever one you want. Buy one of each. That's quite a lineup, since we talked last. I mean, that's a lot.
Absolutely.
But you guys can go to their website, which is us.glock.com. And they've got all the information there on all the new Gen 5s, and then, of course, the slim lines that they've got out in the MOSs, which that's the ones that you can mount the red dots to. Another thing that you guys are offering right now up until Veterans Day is you're honoring our veteran men and women by offering a discount, right?
That's correct. We did this. We did it last year as well, but we did extend the time frame. So our Salute to Veterans program, anyone that's an honorable discharge veteran, just with a 214, or even you go to a store, you get your VA card, or you get your retired card, either one, you can go, or some of them in some states have it on your ID that shows you're a veteran on your driver's license. Any of those forms of ID, you can go to a local Blue Label supplier and either take your 214 in, show them that through Veterans Day, which I believe is November 11th. You can go through that time frame and get your Blue Label discount.
Very cool. And what's the discount? What's the Blue Label discount?
Overall, if you go to like we said before, we got two-step distribution, kind of similar on the LE side. If you go to let's say, there in Tennessee, if you go up to Craig's Firearms there in Knoxville, right, they're actually a distributor.
Yeah.
So their price is going to be a little bit cheaper. But it's anywhere from $75 to $100 off retail, and that's our MAP, or minimum advertised retail price.
Right.
It's usually, at most it can be $100 off that if you go to a local shop that says they offer the Blue Label discount. I kind of use the analogy of buying a gallon of milk at the gas station at the corner of your house, or going to the grocery store. If the grocery store is closed or open, you pay $2. If you go to the gas station, you pay $3, right, for convenience.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. The pricing ends up being about the same if they were to buy it from us and we were to ship it to a dealer and they pay a transfer fee and they pay the taxes. It ends up being within $5 or $6 of the same price.
Gotcha.
But the only difference on the Salute to Veterans program is, we've had time to time where people unfortunately have fraudulently tried to get discounts from us and other people saying they're a veteran or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So we don't take those documents here for the Salute to Veterans program, but you can go to our website for the dealer locator. You get in there, put your zip code in, and then you select law enforcement dealer, I think it is, at the top of the page, a little slider. You make that slider green and make the other two sliders gray, and it'll give you just the Blue Label dealers. And it will show you which ones are distributors and which ones are regular dealer.
Very cool. There you go, guys. Go for all our veterans. Go take advantage of that program. That's good up until
Veterans Day, which I believe is November 11th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Check your
Somewhere
calendars.
like
Unless it's a Google calendar, then it's not going to be on there because I just tried to check mine. So, Very good. So exciting stuff from Glock there. Definitely, I want to check out the 22. I'll probably go up to Royal Range. I'm sure they've got a Glock 44 up there. I'll go up there and try it out. Our good buddies
Absolutely.
at Royal Range USA.
That's a big range, if I'm not mistaken, up there in Tennessee, is it not?
It is. It's a very nice 5-star facility that they've got. Nice pro shop, and then of course the ranges.
They're on all of our programs up there. I believe they're on everything, range program, everything up there. So definitely get up there, and all you lead heads get up there. Go to your local range at any time and try out a 44 or any of the new models. Most of them should have one in stock, and see what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, as I've mentioned in a couple episodes past here, we're going to be up there in February, into February. It's the February 20th and 21st, we're having a course up there with 212 Training Group, a Talking Lead 212 Training Group for, it's called AK Concepts. So if you want to learn how to shoot your AK-47 better, or if you just got one and you need some instructions on the best way to manipulate that thing, come to that course. You can go to the website, 212 Training Site's website, and you can sign up for the course there. It's a 2-day course, and your ammo is not included in that. But if you want ammo, get in touch with the guys at Royal Range, because they've got ammo right now. You can go ahead and secure that for that course in February if that's a concern of yours. But we're going to have Jared on, and we're going to talk more about that course in an upcoming episode. We'll give you full details on that. But we're going to have giveaways, and probably might have some of that AK Corner swag that I was talking about earlier involved with that course. This episode of Talking Lead is brought to you in part by Occam Defense. The guys at Occam love the AK, but didn't love burning their hands, getting cut by their pre-sharpened gun, or the lack of options for accessories. After spending a few years in the lab, they've recently released the ODS 1775, which brings the best of the AR family to the Kalashnikov's reliability. It's still an AK under the hood, AK mags, forged Polish AK parts, but with American aerospace manufacturing practices and ingenuity. Check them out at occamdefense.com or on Instagram at Occam Defense Solutions. So it sounds to me, I mean, with all these offerings that you guys have, that you're still making guns. You haven't stopped production or slowed it down. It sounds like you've actually ramped it up a little bit. So now it's time for the Talking Lead
Facts to fight the myths
with
Corey
Jones of Glock. Corey, bust a myth.
What's the myth? Well, the myth that we've been seeing a lot on social media is that we've halted production for some reason, or not making as many guns as we used to, or not making this model versus that model, or whatever the case may be. And I'm here to tell you, since April, we've increased production anywhere from 50 to 65%. Now, not all in 1 month. Obviously, it takes time. It takes time to get machines going, people in here trained. But since April, we've actually increased production upwards of 60, 65%.
Wow.
So we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped producing guns. We produce every model that's ordered. Obviously, some guns do take longer to manufacture, more parts, stuff like that, more cuts. But overall, we're delivering more guns than we've ever delivered, and done that without having to hire hundreds and hundreds of more people. Just doing it better, more efficiently, but shooting guns and delivering guns every day. So we've actually increased everything. And even with adding all the new models that we've added here in the last part of the year, we've still kept that production level up, as high as we possibly can, to get all the guns we can out there. Well, we'd like to have more, sure. I beat up my VP every day to get more guns in here. Actually, he just sat down in here to join me. So.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
Josh Dorsey.
Josh.
In here won't know what I'm telling you guys. But no, we're always asking to get more. Always asking for more.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask, right?
That's what he keeps telling me, straight ahead,
It's in the mail, right, Josh?
It's in the mail. Yeah, say hello, Josh. You're on Candid Radio.
You're on Talking Lead Radio, baby.
How you doing?
Doing good, buddy. Long time no see. Still don't see you.
I'll take a look at it. Oh, my God. What happened to you?
I got purtier, man. I got purtier. Had surgery.
That's easy. It's all good.
Yeah, I need to come down and see you guys sometime.
Always welcome.
I'll take my COVID test if I need to.
We'll check your temperature when you get here.
Right. You got one of those little things?
Just the way you like it.
There's only one accurate way to get your body temperature. And that's the core temperature.
The core
right.
temperature. That's right.
The military way.
You should make one in the shape of a Glock.
Whatever you want.
Just ask, right? So that is a good myth to bust, and I think a lot of manufacturers are under that that myth that they stopped producing stuff, which is the complete opposite. The ammo companies that I've talked to, other firearms manufacturers that I've talked to, everybody is at full capacity, doing everything they can to meet the demand, and they're actually back ordered. Some for more than a year now. They're a year out with trying to fulfill orders. So it's not that you guys aren't making the products, you're not making the guns, you're not making the ammo. It's just it's being bought. People are buying it.
Yeah.
It's getting
and the
getting
big
sapped
thing
up.
is, last year, if you want to, somewhat of a normal year, it kind of got back to normal. 2019, 18, kind of got to more of a normal year. Where everything was just kind of growing a little bit, but it was just kind of flat.
Mm-hmm.
And now what we're seeing, obviously, with all the stuff going on, and now with the pandemic and the election next week, so everybody's crystal balls are extremely cloudy. We're all, I'm sure, every manufacturer, if you talk to them, has had to do 2 forecasts. I mean, we did one for each scenario. So this could go on, through. Some say, and I think we've said that if Trump wins, it's going to be through the end of the summer. If Biden wins, it'll be into the 2022. So it's just
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's, but like I said, the biggest myth out there, and I think a lot of these guys, a customer goes into a dealer and they don't have something a lot of times, and that's fine. We get the blame, and that's perfectly fine. The gun's not there. We understand that.
Sure. Yeah.
But overall, it's not because we're not making them. It's not because we're not producing as much as we possibly can. Sure, we had some contracts and stuff come up that were had a hiccup, pause a little bit for federal or military or whatever it might be, just like with a lot of manufacturers.
Yeah.
But it hasn't stopped us from making all the guns that have been ordered. And we're not going to get everything out the door. Obviously, we can't. You can't do 100% all the time. But we're as close to 100% as we can possibly get. And I think talking to distributors, talking to dealers, we're doing better than most manufacturers as far as delivery goes. Obviously, it's not enough, but I think they understand, too, that what we're doing, they see it in their sales. I mean, everybody's sales are upwards to 300% over last year. So if you just look at that, if somebody's sales are up 300%, there's really no way as a manufacturer, I don't think, from one manufacturer that you can meet that whole increase.
Yeah.
In one
and you're
shot.
not gonna go out and start building new facilities and ordering new equipment, just for this. This short period of whatever hysteria that we're having.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right, and that's the way you kind of. Obviously, I'm in the sales side, right? As Josh is leaving, I'm in the sales side, so I always want more. He wants me to sell more. I said, "Give me more, I'll sell more."
Yeah,
but
can't sell what I don't have.
Yeah, production is. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has a capacity. I don't care what manufacturer you are. I think in 2016 we had a lot of manufacturers that spent a lot of money to buy more machines, and they could have been heroes if he would have lost. Not saying they're zeros, but at the same time, they had a lot of machines that were left idle. Yeah. Because they did spend that money, but then they didn't need it. And even if this were to, the funny thing is at distributor level and dealer level, even if tomorrow the pandemic's gone tomorrow, all the unrest is gone tomorrow, it's still going to be 90 days before both channels are filled back up. So even if all this stops and the wall, it hits a brick wall and everything stops, it's still going to be 90 days before you start seeing dealers get back.
Or on the opposite of that, I mean, as a business, as a manufacturer, you're going to look at it's like, if this is a consistent, maintainable pace, then we're going to expand and we're going to increase our production facilities. That's just the way a business will operate. Plus, it it opens the door for other innovative companies to come in the market and new products, new companies.
Absolutely.
So any of you innovative lead heads are out there, you ever wanted to make your own gun, start your own gun manufacturer, now's a good time to do it.
Absolutely.
Jump in.
So yeah, it's been a wild ride, but we're continuing to work as hard as we can. Of course, our goal also in the first and foremost when all this started was the health and safety of the people working here.
Sure.
Without the people here, we can't get the guns to the people out in the market. So that's been our first concern. As with every manufacturer, we're no different, I don't think, than any other manufacturer. We want to make sure our people are safe, that we do it in the guidelines of what's out there from the governor, from CDC or whatever. So that's our first priority. But we also know with that, even if we're doing more with less because of what we're distancing or whatever it may be, we still know we have to get that stuff out to the market. And I think we've seen a lot of like I said, we've seen huge increases across the board, which has been phenomenal for us as a company. Just to see the growth, we'd like to keep, if we could keep half that growth going into the next couple of years. Oh yeah, it would be phenomenal.
Well, hopefully a lot of these. Yeah, hopefully a lot of these first-time gun buyers, it won't be their last. We've.
Well, we saw that back many years ago when Obama got elected. I mean, you had, in that market, first-time buyer and women has been the fastest-growing market since Obama got elected. It's never stopped growing. It's never been the top market. And even that, when it slowed down, and they didn't take guns away and what have you, exactly what you said is exactly what happened. If you had 100 people that bought their first gun, 80% of those people went out and bought another gun or two more guns or whatever. So yeah, absolutely. We want to see that continue. And that's one big reason, like the 44. Yeah. That's going to be a big catalyst for some of those folks that are just first time buyers that bought a 44. Now they're familiar with it. Now they go out and buy a 19, they go out and buy whatever they want. So we're going to get more out of it, down the line. And that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about future projects. Is there anything on the hopper that you can talk about?
Well, obviously, there's nothing I can talk about.
Yeah.
But in general,
allude to.
there's always something in the hopper.
Get
always.
Josh back in here. I want him to allude to some stuff.
No, he knew what was coming. He left already.
He's like, oh shit, is that Marty? Damn.
But no, nothing I can really speak to other than for sure, like I said, the Gen 5 platform will be extended out to more calibers to finish up, all the calibers we offer. Nothing that I can speak to right now that's going to be absolutely new. Yeah. I know what everybody wants to hear. I know what everybody wants me to talk about.
What do you think people want you to talk about?
Well, the same thing. I've been here 16 years as of October 4th, so I'm sure everybody wants to hear about a rifle or about something else.
Some kind of carbine or a rifle or something?
Nothing to speak to as far as all I can tell you, like I've said every other year, is it'll be SHOT Show.
Well, I never thought.
Don't know what year.
I never thought Porsche would make a SUV, and they did. So who knows? Anything's possible, right?
Anything's possible.
Or Bentley. I think even Bentley came out with one too.
Well, now you got all the electrical stuff too, so they've all changed up big time.
Yeah, absolutely. So as innovation progresses, you just never know. Well, very good, man. So thank you for the update. I appreciate that, and really appreciate you guys having that program for the veterans. So make sure you tell, if you're a veteran, take advantage of it. If you know a veteran, let them know about it. If they're looking for a good, reliable pistol, you can't go wrong with a Glock. Still my personal carry. I'm carrying the Gen 5 19 now.
There you go.
I had the 19X, but I switched my EDC up back to the smaller one there. But still like my 19. I use it when I'm doing some training and stuff like that. So.
Like I said, it's the most popular handgun overall. I mean, the 43s and 43Xs they battled back and forth.
Yeah.
But the top three spots. But.
Man, I was a diehard 40 guy. I've just lived and died by the 40. But when you came out with that Gen 5, actually the 19X, when you came out with the 19X, I switched over to the 9mm. I still have my 40.
Right. Don't ever give them up. You mean always go back to it.
No. Yeah, you never know. You never know. But I did so much customization on mine too. I had the slide cut. I put some very highly custom stuff into that one. So
right.
I'll hold on to that one forever. Definitely. That'll be an heirloom.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
That'll be worth some money to somebody one day.
Maybe. for maybe one of my well, I don't have kids, so nephews. We'll pass it down to my nephews, definitely.
There you go. Or nieces. They don't discriminate.
No, nieces, nephews. I'll let them fight over it.
There you go.
They can battle it out. Do a little MMA fight for it. So, Leadheads, make sure you go to their website. It's us.glock.com. Check out all the new offerings there that we just talked about. Go back as you're re-listening to the show, pull it up, and you can look at it as we're talking about it. And then, of course, their social medias. They're always making posts there. The shooting team, how's the shooting team doing? Are they back at it doing competitions?
I believe so. Yeah, I talked to Shane Coley the other day. He was leaving out of here for a couple of weeks to go do some training, go do some competitions. Not quite sure on the record. I'm working from home as well.
Yeah.
3 days a week, so we're kind of hit or miss here or there. But yeah, they seem to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, you guys can keep up with them on the social medias. It's Glock Inc. Is that right on the social media?
For what?
For you guys, for Glock.
Possibly. I'm not on social media at all. It's just bad for your brain.
Well, I'll edit that out too. Hold on. Let me see what you are here.
I know there's the Instagram and the Twitter and whatever.
If you go to Glock Inc. Glock Inc. On Instagram and then Facebook, if you just Google, they'll come up, and they're the one that have the millions of followers. You know you got the right Glock.
Not the rappers. Come on.
You got a rapper named Glock?
There's when you search Glock sometimes on Twitter and all these different things, there's some kind of rapper that comes up or something. I don't know what it is.
Okay, well, maybe it's just free advertisement for you guys, I guess, if you're singing about them.
As long as they're talking about you. Once they quit talking about you, you got a problem.
Right, exactly. So that does it for another episode of the Talking Lead Podcast. Make sure you go and support those that make this show possible each and every week. Keltec Weapons on their social medias, on their website, and, of course, at your local gun store. Go check those out. Hopefully those new sub-CQBs, the integrally suppressed sub-2000s, will be out and available for you guys to go check out. Mission First Tactical. Check them out at missionfirsttactical.com. Use that discount code LEADHEAD for 20% off discount. At Modern Spartan Systems, you can use TLCP15, get 15% discount. LEO Takedown, you use the code LEADHEAD there, and they're going to give you 10% off that cool system they've got, the LEO Takedown system. We had Joe on several episodes back talking about being able to switch your AR from one caliber to another very quickly, very easily by using their adapter system. Twisted X Boots, the official footwear of Talking Lead. You can go to Twisted X, their website, but you go to your local boot store and shoe store, that's where you're going to be able to buy those at Twisted X. Very comfortable boots and shoes, driving shoes they've got there. And Fiocchi Ammo, just like we talked earlier, I mean, they're cranking out the ammo just as quick as they can, but it's getting bought up. So whenever you get an opportunity, you see it, buy it when you can get it. But things are going to catch up eventually, one way or the other. Either these manufacturers are going to see that this isn't going to slow down and they're going to ramp up, or it will slow down and things will get back to normal, and you'll be able to get your ammo, your guns, just like you like. I don't think I forgot anything. Oh, and then, of course, you want to get your swag, your Talking Lead swag. You got several places. You can go to 1776united.com, get the legendary Talking Lead logo and Leadhead Brigade shirts there and patches. You go to factory47.com. That's factory with a K, FAKTORY, 47.com, and get our new AK Corner swag from the Talking Lead AK Corner series that we have done for the last 2 years. And we've got shirts, hoodies, women's apparel, and we've got the new AK Corner leadies there. So go check them out and use that code LEADHEAD there, and you're going to get a discount on the new swag. So, Corey, again, thank you so much. Thanks to Glock for everything that they're doing for not only our 2A community, but for our law enforcement military community as well. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having me, man. It's good to get caught up, and thanks to all your lead heads out there for supporting us. And again, support your LE guys, first responders, and whatnot when you see them. Other than that, man, I appreciate it. Good to talk to you.
Yeah. So until the next episode, lead heads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
Keep your firearms closer and rock out with your Glock out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.